Alright, so what is up, everyone? It is Tuesday of my third week of my pediatric clerkship, and I'm actually on pediatric emergency medicine this week. So this is actually the only real, whole week of emergency medicine that we get throughout all of our clerkship year. Usually how our EM shifts work is we just have two shifts sort of mixed in with whatever main clerkship we're doing. So for internal medicine, we'll have two random shifts. My school does emergency medicine as a longitudinal clerkship, so that's why it's like that. But for pediatrics, for whatever reason, we have a full week of pediatric EM, which is actually really nice because sort of the one bad thing about doing EM the way that my school does it is you just don't get a lot of continuity, and you can go sometimes 2 months between shifts. So you kind of just forget how emergency medicine works and what you need to focus on, how fast you have to be, what to really pay attention to in terms of red flags or things that are going to kill a patient. So the fact that we get a whole week of pediatric EM is really nice. So today's Tuesday, which is kind of like my off day on pediatric EM. On my other weeks in peds, we do a half day of clinical work, and then the afternoon is just lectures. But for EM, they just give you that day off clinically, but I still have a bunch of lectures later in the day. In terms of yesterday, that was my first actual shift. It was a little boring just because the doctor kind of just had me shadow her the whole time because it was my first time in PED, so I just followed her around, saw what she did, and just kind of got a general flow. I think I interviewed two patients by myself, but all in all, didn't have a lot of autonomy just because it was my first day. She wanted me to sort of just get a hang of things, and pediatrics is very different where you will see some 20-year-olds and then some newborns. So sort of a lot of different stuff to know. So I'm kind of understand why she didn't want me, going and seeing a newborn by myself. So today, like I said, I don't have any clinical responsibilities, but I have a whole day of meetings basically. From 1 to 5 is just a bunch of lectures, and then I have some other meetings earlier on in the day about advising and stuff like that because elective time is coming up. So we have to sort of start planning out what electives we want to do and when. So that's what this meeting is about. So it's kind of exciting. We're starting to think about the next phase of medical school. But basically, I'm just going to go to the gym right now to get that out of the way and then come home and prepare for that meeting. Okay, so it is now Thursday. I just got back from the hospital. Today was a 9 to 5 shift. That's what all of the EM shifts are this week, is 9 to 5. Usually how the other EM shifts work is you're just told to be there the same shift as the doctor. So if the doctor is working a 10 to 6, that's your shift. If the doctor is working an overnight 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., then that's your shift. So it just kind of depends. But we're not sort of locked up with the doctor's schedule. We just do a 9 to 5. So yeah, the one thing that I've already taken away from this week is it has been insanely busy. I'm on this rotation at this hospital with 2 of my classmates, and they've already done their EM weeks, and they were like, oh, so chill. There's maybe 2 to 3 patients in the morning, and then, once you get back from lunch, maybe there's 6 or 7. No, I mean, today, I think me and the doctor probably saw 30 patients total. So it is sort of back to school time, and a lot of people are just being exposed to a lot more humans than they're used to, especially with the small kids. People are starting to get just viruses and stuff. So we're seeing a lot of that. Also seeing a lot of sports injuries just because sports are starting back up too, even kids at recess, falling off the monkey bars, all that kind of stuff. So it's really picked up, and it's funny because one of my classmates said that one of the doctors was like, oh yeah, the week after school starts, it's crazy, and they were right because it's been wild this week. But because of that, it's been good because it's very busy, and after working in the ED a few days, the doctors have had a little bit more trust and confidence in me to sort of work up a patient fully by myself. So while I can't really like write the notes and save them time that way, at least I can help them out by taking a full history and presenting it, telling them my physical exam findings, what I think we should do for them. So it's been nice to actually feel like I've been helping everyone out these past few days. I still have 2 more shifts this week because since we get the Tuesday off, at least clinically, we have to work a Saturday shift. So even though tomorrow's Friday, it's not like the weekend is really here yet. If things continue to go like this, I don't really mind because I'm enjoying it. Alright, it is Saturday. Just got back from the hospital for my last EM shift of the week, and today was awesome. It was once again very busy. I was with an amazing doctor. She was so nice. She really let me have a lot of autonomy again, which has been sort of the pattern towards the later part of the week, and was just a really great teacher. Felt bad because of how swamped we were, and she really didn't have any help usually. Like a PA or an NP will come in around like 1 or 2, but there wasn't any today. So at the end of our shift at like 5 o'clock, she was like, yeah, I have like 27 or 28 notes to write before I can even go home. So felt really bad for her. But all in all was a good day. Today was really cool because I got a lot of orthopedic experience. So we had one girl come in with a probably dislocated elbow based on the story and what we saw. So we had to call the orthopedic surgeon on call, and he was like, okay, I can be there in like an hour. And by the time he got in there was 2 more orthopedic injuries. There was a little kid who broke his thumb, and then another little girl who had an ankle injury. We weren't sure if it was a fracture or not yet because they went to an urgent care and they did x-rays there and told them to go to the emergency room, but they gave a CD of the x-rays that they did there, and we literally could not find anywhere in the hospital that had a CD drive that could open this file. So we had to do the x-ray again. But yeah, for like 3 hours today, I was just kind of like hanging out with the orthopedic surgeon. Helped reduce the girl's dislocated elbow, which was so cool to see. I've never really seen a reduction like that, and thankfully she didn't break anything. We were a little bit concerned that she also fractured her humerus, but once we did x-rays after the reduction, she was fine, so that's great for her. Helped cast the little boy's thumb. It was just a tiny little fracture, so the cast is only going to need to be on for like 3 weeks. So that's not too bad. And then for the girl with the ankle fracture, we didn't have to do much. We were a little bit concerned based on the location, whether it involved the growth plate or not. But after we got our x-rays back, the doctor really didn't think that we needed to do too much for it. A lot of the times with ankle fractures, you just put them in a boot, and she actually came there in a sufficient boot. So the plan for her was to just wear the boot for a few weeks and follow up in the outpatient office, and hopefully she wouldn't need a cast or surgery or anything like that. And it was also really nice. The orthopedic surgeon actually reviews applications and interviews applicants for one of the nearby residency programs. So it was so nice because I got to talk to him while we were like waiting for x-rays to come back and stuff like that. Just general advice, how to make yourself stand out to residency programs, how to do well on way rotations. So all in all, very good shift. So that's about it for the week. I have 3 more weeks of my peds clerkship. Next week is going to be neurology. We'll see how that goes. I already did a full neurology clerkship at the same hospital, so I don't know how much new stuff I'll see. It is pediatrics, so usually they see a lot of like developmental issues or ADHD, which I don't have too much experience with. So still could learn a lot because that's like a huge topic in pediatrics. But that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like below and subscribe if you want to see videos like this in the future. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.